Okay, I want to talk to you a little bit about, you know, what we do, but you don't know how we do it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. There are a lot of groups out there. Generally speaking, paranormal investigations are conducted in a very similar way across the board, but there are very important differences. Some groups use mediums or psychics. Some groups stick completely to scientific equipment to try to record solid evidence of the paranormal, while others like to keep a little small group together and just kind of go off intuition and use very simple things like just a handheld recorder and then no other equipment. Our procedure is we try to take an objective observation. That's kind of what I've how I've described it to my team members. Obviously, we all believe in the paranormal, or we wouldn't be doing this, or we at least believe in the possibility. But we do our best to remain as objective as we can and take each case subjectively. So I've told everyone in the team numerous times that whatever your personal beliefs are about God, about the paranormal, anything like that, check them at the door when we go on an investigation, so that we don't have any presumptions about what we're about to experience. I mean, if you go into an investigation and you believe in demons and that you're
going to probably see a demon.
You're probably going to see a demon, right? And if you go in there and you believe that, you know, there are fairies, you're probably going to see fairies. You know, anything and everything is easy to allow your mind to give you if you want it bad enough. So we try to avoid that pitfall simply by asking some general questions, setting up equipment, and no matter what our personal experiences are, no matter what the homeowners tell us, if we didn't catch it on one of these pieces of equipment, it didn't happen. At least not in a scientific way. Our approach is we arrive at the scene, usually Bridget and myself, we're the co-founders, lead investigators. We go talk to the homeowners. Ron is in charge of equipment and setup, so he'll set up all the equipment, run the cables, set up the cameras, run them to the DVR unit that we record our video with, set up our wireless audio, set up our wireless weather station. And then after all that is set up, after Bridget and I are done talking, we'll usually jump in and help so we can get things moving as fast as we can. We usually like to operate between like 11 and 5 a.m. We're flexible on that, but it does seem, from my experiences, that most things tend to happen between those hours. So we do try to aim for that.
I think a lot of that has to do with, we were talking earlier about energy. It's at night, most of the equipment is off, so there's a lot of energy in the air not being used already.
Right.
So the spirits, if that is true that they can draw energy from appliances, devices, there's that much more energy in the air for them to draw from.
Right.
So the hours when most people are sleeping is maybe the best.
And it's also, in addition to that, another theory is that it's simply easier to observe the activity. So if you think of it as, and you imagine that paranormal activity occurs across the board all day long. In the daytime, you have traffic outside, you have your lights on, you have your TV on, maybe your radio on, you're talking to somebody. If there's a voice or a noise in the room that you can't explain, or even more so, a light anomaly, maybe there's a very bright apparition, that type of thing, you're not going to see it in the day nearly as easily as you do at night. So at nighttime, people tend to be more docile, getting ready for bed, so you just kind of observe it more. And I've noticed that...
And your mind's a little bit more at ease.
Yeah.
So it's a little more open anyways.
Yeah, that's another way to look at it.
Your mind's always racing, you know? It's like, oh shoot, did I forget to do that paper before I left work today? Did I forget to do this? So, you know, but at night you're a little bit more relaxed, your mind's more easy and open to see something or hear something.
Exactly. So that's what we found in our experience. I'll talk to you a little bit about some of the equipment. I don't have all my equipment with me today. I do have most of the basic equipment. Well, I'll start with the most simple. This is a paranormal investigator's best friend. This is a very simple device. It's not very expensive. It's just about any
department store.
Yeah, we'll sell these, and you'll find them.
You don't need the best model either.
No.
A lot of these people think, well, I got $1,000 piece of equipment. Well, you know what? A $2 piece of equipment can capture just as much usually sometimes.
I'll tell them what it is first.
There you go.
This is a handheld digital voice recorder. They're great for copying lectures, so you can go back and listen to what your professor had to say. They're also great for capturing a disembodied voice or on an investigation. So what this device is used for is the collection of EVP data. EVP is probably know this, electronic voice phenomenon. You could also call it magnetic voice phenomenon. I think that's a better description of it because the voice is literally magnetic. It only appears on the audio track. An EVP you do not hear with your ears when you ask a question.
As opposed to a VP.
Right. So if I say, "What is your name?" I will hear nothing, but this might record Tom. It can record longer phrases than that as well. Most of the time, they're very, very random phrases that don't make a lot of sense.
Or they're even a response to a question.
Like, what? Strawberry Chapel.
Mm-hmm.
What's your name? My name's Ball.
Yeah, that was
Ball,
one of our best examples.
Who is the owner of the property? The Ball family.
Right. That's who was buried there. So
and then other times, 3 days.
Yeah.
Well, where'd that come from?
You're trying to get evidence to corroborate the stories of the homeowners, but it's not always as cut and dry as that. But this can be used in various ways. The most common way we use it is we break into teams, sit with it in our hand, or maybe lay it down close to us, and try to directly interact with whatever is there. The other way to do it is called passive EVP. You can go into a location, either just a room or an entire house, sit this down, record it, tell whatever's there that it can speak to it, and leave. Come back, see if it recorded anything. I don't like to do that as much because although in theory that sounds good, that no one's going to be there talking, but if someone is there, you can note any sounds that you hear in the room that you can explain. But if no one's in the home while this is recording and, the cookie jar falls over because it was, leaning on the edge of the counter, you're going to come home and listen to that sound, and think it's paranormal.
Well, one thing you want to warn people about is, if your recorder happen to have a voice activated setting, do not use that.
No.
A lot of EVPs are seconds,